We have a question that concerns this picture tonight. We're talking about this motorcycle right here, and it's inside this diagonal area, that diagonal parking area. The question, is it okay to park in these spots with diagonal stripes? Essentially, the answer is no. A law enforcement officer tells me the diagonal striped area should indicate to you that vehicles are prohibited in that area. And there's a reason for those stripes. Take a look at this illustration from ada.gov. You're about to see it. Shows the extra room needed for a van to deploy a wheelchair ramp. You can also see the man with the walker. That man needs extra room too. Shelby Butler with Empower Abilities is asking you to consider others before using those spots.
Please don't disrespect people that need those access aisles or those parking spaces. It's kind of a disrespect. And so you don't want to become a barrier for someone. I mean, that's very easy to do without realizing it.
Butler says people have reported being stuck because riders park in these spots, so they just can't leave a business. Now, Springfield has what's called a Handicapped Enforcement Action Team. These volunteers can issue a summons for handicapped parking violations. If you'd like to join the effort, I'll put a link online. If you have something you want us to investigate, you can do that. You can also email us right there, factfinders@ky3.com. A focus on your safety out on the road for tonight's Fact Finders. The question right here, are temporary light-up signs allowed in Springfield? The answer, for the most part, is no. The question focused on this sign right here near Kansas and Sunshine in Springfield. The city went to look at it after we asked the question. They found the sign is in a required parking spot. The owner did not get a permit. It also lights up, as you can see there. As mentioned, temporary signs are not allowed if they have the potential to blind a driver. The city is giving the owner 10 days to move the sign, a link to the rules, a number to call. I'm going to be putting those online at ky3.com. If you have something you want us to investigate, you can email us at factfinders@ky3.com. The Springfield Greene County Health Department will hold its second winter vaccine event this Saturday. Everyone who gets their first or second dose on Saturday will get a $50 gift card. So Elaine has a two-part question. First part, I would like to know where the money comes from to pay people to get the COVID-19 vaccine. And the second part is right here, is someone making money somehow? Well, 20 counties in the state have joined the gift card program. So far, Missouri has invested about $1.7 million. Now, the money comes from the CDC, then it goes to the state, then it flows down to the county level. The Springfield Greene County Health Department has handed out more than 1,320 gift cards so far. You can get a card to Target, Walgreens, or Walmart if you get vaccinated.
We need to do everything possible in order to get more individuals vaccinated. And again, because this was funding that was given to us by the state through the CDC, we didn't see any downside to accepting it. And we knew that we have the tools in order to properly educate and motivate and alert residents about the incentive program.
The Springfield Greene County Health Department has close to 1,400 gift cards remaining. They anticipate they'll run out during Saturday's event at Williams Elementary. For the first part of the question, the CDC is the original source of the money. For the second part, this one right here, is someone making money somehow? The answer is yes. People who get their first or second vaccination will get a $50 gift card. If you have something you want us to investigate, email us right there, factfinders@ky3.com. We have a number of construction zones around the Ozarks where one lane is closed. So our Fact Finders question this week, do you merge as soon as possible when one lane is closed? Give you a second to think about it. The answer here is no. MoDOT is encouraging people to do the zipper merge. The agency even has this cute video. It shows people merging early and only using one lane. It also shows people using both lanes and merging right before the closed lane to demonstrate the difference. Now, MoDOT says if we change the way we merge, we can cut backups by 40 to 50%.
We want the traveling public to use both lanes because that prevents the congestion. People moving, congestion, moving around, trying to fight because if you use just one lane, then traffic's going to back up. But if you're using both lanes, then you're using the most amount of space that's possible.
Now, there are always exceptions to the rule. In this case, if there's light traffic and you can drive at the speed limit, go ahead, merge early. But if it's slow going like that and backed up, use both lanes as long as possible. If you have something you want us to investigate, email us right there at factfinders@ky3.com. It's pretty common to see cars parked like this on our streets. This would be the direction of traffic this way, and these cars here would be facing traffic. So in this Fact Finders, one of our viewers wants to know, is it illegal to park facing oncoming traffic? Well, the city of Springfield has an ordinance addressing this type of situation. In official language, it says you should park a vehicle in a roadway parallel with the edge of the roadway, headed in the direction of lawful traffic, and with the right-hand wheels of the vehicle within 12 inches of the curb.
The main reason would be safety reasons. If you were to leave that parking spot, now you have to merge across both lanes of traffic to clear. As opposed to being on the same side of the street, you just have to clear your lane and you can proceed, which is a lot easier than trying to clear oncoming traffic and then merge into your normal flow of traffic.
So to answer the question, yes, it is illegal to park this way facing oncoming traffic in Springfield, because if you'll have to make that U-turn there. It's also the law in Missouri, too. As for tickets, Springfield police would most likely issue a warning first. If ticketed, it's a traffic infraction payable in municipal court. If you have something you want us to investigate, you can email us right there, factfinders@ky3.com. We're tackling a question about trees hanging over property lines on this 15th anniversary of the big ice storm. Rich wants to know, can you cut a neighbor's tree if it poses a threat to your house and the tree extends onto your property? The Insurance Information Institute says tree questions are one of the most common questions they get. Local attorney Grant Rallmeyer says you can always approach your neighbor and say, hey, I'm worried about this. Do you mind if I cut it down? If the answer is no, you could still do some cutting.
We live in this imaginary box. And so our property line is not just on the ground, it goes up into space, and that's our imaginary box. And so this tree is over into our imaginary box. Legally, you can cut it. I recommend first be neighborly, but you can cut it. That's up to you. But you got to stay within your property line.
Meantime, Debbie Campbell with Nixon and Lindstrom Insurance explained what happens if a storm causes your neighbor's tree to come down and, say, damage your car. That's considered an act of God. You would file a claim with your insurance company. Your neighbor would not file a claim. There's one exception to that if you can prove negligence. I'll post some examples of negligence in those situations at ky3.com. So, without your neighbor's permission, you cannot cut the whole tree down, not the whole thing, so the answer is no, but you could trim the part of the tree that hangs over your property line. If you have something you want us to investigate, you can email us at FactFinders. Social media posts are flying around about new rules giving the IRS more power to invade your privacy. So on FactFinders, we're tackling this question tonight. Does the IRS have the right to review any activity in every American bank account greater than $600? The answer at this very moment, right now, tonight, is no. You might have sensed some hesitation there. There's a lot more to this story. There is a proposal, and it does involve your bank account. The IRS commissioner, in testimony before a U.S. Senate committee, explained it this way. This proposal would require financial institutions to file an annual return with the IRS. The banks would report gross inflows and outflows. It would involve all accounts with more than $600 in activity. Now, the banks are not excited about this proposal. The Missouri Bank even posted a consumer alert on the topic on Facebook. A University of Missouri economics professor says banks are worried about the cost of this plan.
So there is going to be some additional man hours that are, we can use these machines all we want, but then they, especially in terms of a computer, all it is just a machine. somebody has to interpret what that machine, what information, what data that machine is giving us. It will raise the cost.
A White House official told us this proposal does not mandate reporting of individual transactions to the IRS. The president's proposal requires that banks report the most basic, high-level information on account inflows and outflows. So they go on to say, this White House official, imagine a taxpayer who reports $10,000 of income but has $1 million of flows in and out of their bank account. Having this summary information for the IRS, they say, will help the IRS flag when high-income people underreport their income. Now, we also have information from a member of the Senate Finance Committee. Remember, this is very early in the process. They tell us they support increasing IRS reporting requirements so that the IRS is better equipped to know who is an honest taxpayer and who are the wealthy tax cheats it needs to audit. Look at this line here, though. The Senate continues to debate the specifics. The Treasury Department believes this proposal and other reforms will generate $700 billion in tax revenue in the next decade. Bottom line, can't stress this enough, it's very, very early in the legislative process. The details of the proposal can and probably will change. We're going to update you as we learn more in the days and weeks ahead. If you have something you want to tell us about or want us to investigate, you can always email us factfinders@ky3.com. Construction is underway now on a new roundabout on Glenstone Avenue at the intersection with Republic Road. With more roundabouts in the area, we're answering a viewer's question about them. The question here is, are you required to use your turn signal as you enter and leave a roundabout? The answer on this one is no. The Missouri Highway Patrol tells me the turn signal is purely a courtesy, a nice thing to do. However, you do need to yield as you enter and exit the traffic circle. MoDOT confirms this info too. The agency says you have to yield to traffic that's already in the roundabout, but if you're in the traffic circle, you do not have to yield to a driver wanting to enter. And we're likely to see more roundabouts around here over time.
The biggest advantage is the safety advantage of a roundabout. You will tend at a roundabout to have probably more property damage only type crashes instead of the more severe ones and even fatalities that you may have at a standard four-legged intersection.
I'm told the roundabouts are also cheaper to maintain than a traditional four-way stop. By the way, that new roundabout at Glenstone and Republic is scheduled to be complete next May. If you have something you want us to investigate, you can email us right there. It's factfinders@ky3.com.